love, so we keep evolving. And don't you judge, just keep on watching, okay? But keep it cute in the comments, though. Cause trust and believe we reading all the comments, though. And if you know one thing, we keep it 100, though. You rockin' with Brittany and Dory, the show. Let's go. Brittany and Dory. Brittany and Dory. Brittany and Dory. You're watching us. This is us. So what up, world? It's your girl, Brittany
And Dory.
and we are
Brittany and Dory.
Anyway, so we are headed back to Dallas from Oklahoma City from seeing Dory's grandma. Earlier this week she was unresponsive, so I told baby, let's get up and go. We literally packed very few items. We jumped on the road in less than 30 minutes, and we have been in Oklahoma for the past few days. I've been working from Oklahoma at the hospital. Baby's been working here and there, but really just tending to her family. But needless to say, we do have to get back to Dallas because I actually have an executive meeting that I cannot miss tomorrow. So we are headed back to Dallas. But one of the things that obviously y'all know, we kind of talked to y'all about, baby finally booked me a trip. And that trip is in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Not even really 2 weeks. It's actually not this upcoming weekend, which we're a day away from the weekend. So next weekend we are supposed to be flying to Puerto Vallarta on Friday.
Yes.
And it was kind of brought up in the discussion when we on 4th of July, when Dory was, obviously we knew Dory's grandma wasn't doing too great, but again, the next day we got a call saying that she was unresponsive, so we rushed to Oklahoma just to make sure Dory, if anything were to happen where she wouldn't still be here, that she would have the opportunity to see her and just have that time. So as we're driving back, nothing has really changed. Her grandma's still in the hospital. We don't know if or when she will be able to go home. But
No, let's not say that.
what?
I just say we don't know when she'll be able to go home.
We don't know when she'll be able to go home, because we are trusting and believing that God is going to cover her and restore her to full strength, and just to be able for her to just be back to herself. But needless to say, we have a trip that is coming up in almost a week, and I pretty much wrote in my phone, and I hadn't asked babe about it. I hadn't talked to her about it, because obviously it's kind of one of those hard things to say or hard things to ask or whatever. But one of the things that I wrote in my phone was, if something were to happen to your grandma, and for whatever reason, you need to be in Oklahoma, I wrote in my phone to ask babe, like, would it be okay for me to still go to Puerto Vallarta or Mexico, by myself? And obviously this is a genuine and a serious conversation. I understand however you may feel, however you may feel, and I might feel the way I feel, but I do think it's an important conversation to have, because number one, when it comes to our tickets for our flight, we cannot get a refund. So that would be water that's flushed down the drain. Secondly, tomorrow is the last day that we would be able to get a refund on our hotel room. So again, we can't predict the future. We don't know what's going to happen with your grandma, and obviously we both want your grandma to pull through. But if something were to happen, would it be okay if I went to Mexico by myself? Or do you feel like I need to be with you in Oklahoma?
Well, I honestly feel like I want to tell you to go on the trip.
Yeah.
Number one, because it's money down, think people would probably feel like, well, you need to be there for Dory and blah blah blah. But at the same time, like, you have been there already for me, and I know you'll be there for me before or after whatever the situation is. I do feel like I have family as well that, you know, in this, if that, I don't even want to speak that into existence or even say, but I'm just saying, like, if something was to happen, I have my family to lean on too.
Yeah.
And I didn't think you would go. I feel like you would feel bad about going.
No, I definitely would feel bad about going, but honestly, I would want to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think it's because, I mean, you know how excited I am about this trip.
Yeah.
And you also know how I would hate to just throw that much money down the drain as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really like, it's like nobody would win. Obviously, I want you to be there with me, but if you had to be with your family, I feel like I would hope you would understand that I also probably need this trip more than I maybe tell you, or maybe I say or let on. But I mean, I just feel like you gotta change your heart, because when you were talking to Tish, Penny, and Lainey, you basically said pretty much like you didn't want me to go on the trip.
No, that's not really what I said, because prior to this, when you walked into the conversation, I was just saying, I was telling them that I was wanting to tell you that I would still want you to go on the trip.
Oh, I thought you said the same.
No,
I thought by the time I got there,
I didn't expect you to say it though. I think that's probably what kind of caught me off guard, because when I was telling them, like, you know, I would still want you to go on the trip, you know, and I said, but I was like, but I don't think you would. And then you was just like, kind of like, your response is kind of what threw me off. But I was telling them that I would want you to go on a trip.
yeah,
And you telling me that you still would have wanted to go on a trip, or not even like possibly even factoring in my feelings or whatever, me thinking in my brain that you wouldn't want to go because of that kind of like,
no,
you know,
I would want. I mean, obviously, the reason why I wrote it in my notes in my phone is because it's not like a conversation, or it's not even just like a statement you just make on a whim. Like, hey, babe, I know stuff's going on with your grandma, but if stuff going on, I still want to go on this trip. No, I was actually thoughtful. I felt like I was thoughtful enough to say, I don't know when I'm going to have this conversation with you, but I know it's going to have to happen, because the way things are going with your grandma, like, we don't know. Or especially before we got down there, we really didn't know. So it's one of those things where it's like, okay, what's going to happen with our trip? And I'm not selfish enough to feel like a trip is more important than being there for you by any stretch of imagination. If you were to simply say, I absolutely need you to be with me, then there is no trip. But if there's even an inkling of you saying, like, babe, I want you to go on the trip, honestly, as much as I would hate to go on a solo dolo trip by myself, I would just do it, because I feel like I need a break. Like, I need a mental break. I need an emotional break. I need a break. I need that. So
I get that.
I'm hoping and praying that this conversation is really just what it is, a conversation, and it doesn't have any meaning by the time next weekend rolls around. Your grandma's improving, doing better, and we're able to go on this trip, because I honestly feel like you need a break too. Like, you've been exhausted this week. Exhausted. So, what are you thinking?
No, I mean, I don't really have much to say, just because it's like the conversation I just don't want to have.
Yeah.
Really. So I just kind of just, like, I really don't have much to say. Like, I do feel like if any, like, you know, you definitely should go on the trip still. And I wouldn't hold that against you.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say. Like, I don't want to keep speaking if something happens, because I'm just trying to keep faith that nothing will happen.
No, absolutely. flights or whatever. So that's a whatever. But if it was something that you felt like, okay, I don't want you to go on the trip, that's why this conversation is needed, because by tomorrow we would need to have canceled our hotel room.
Yeah.
That's really the only reason why I even felt like, okay, I haven't wanted to have this conversation, but we need to have it now, in a sense of, okay, what do we do about this hotel room? Because the hotel room is more than the ticket. So that's really, it don't make sense to lose out on everything. If we lose out on a flight and we can't get a credit, okay, so be it. But the hotel is another story. So, but like I said, we are praying. We are praying people, and we know we have praying followers. So continue to pray for Dory's grandma, that she pulls through and makes a complete turnaround and able to be restored and be able to go home. And in the meantime, we will keep y'all posted on what's happening with us. Hopefully when y'all see us, tune in from Puerto Vallarta. That it's not only Brittany, but it's Brittany and Dory on that trip, and we are able to get a break from our everyday lives, get a break from everything that's happened up until this point, and now everything we're dealing with Dory's family, and we're just able to get a little downtime together in a way. So we appreciate y'all having this conversation with us. If you want to get in on this conversation, if you feel like, just use your imagination on whatever you feel like the scenario is. But if you feel like,
I already know what they're gonna say.
What they gonna say?
They're gonna say you should go be with me.
Really?
Yeah, but that's why I think people gotta mind their business.
You always want to tell people to mind their business.
Yeah, because you really can't tell people what, you know, like, your opinion is your opinion. That's all I can say. You know what I mean? But honestly, you just never really know other people's relationships. So it's really like your opinion is not really valid. Like, it's not like, you know, like, you can always give your 2 cents, but this account is full. Like, but no, I mean, honestly, if I say for sure for you to go, like, that's just really what I mean from the bottom of my heart. Like, I would not hold that against you, and I feel like you need to be there with me, and I really truly mean that.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, they want to get their 2 cents, go ahead, give your 2 cents.
All right, y'all. Baby said, regardless of what 2 cents you drop in the comments below, just know that she's made her decision, basically stating that it is okay for me to go on this trip by myself, if that's what it comes to. So if you were me, y'all give me y'all 2 cents. If you were me, what would you do? Would you stay and be by your wife's side, or would you go on the trip just so you don't lose out on all of the money that you spent? So we appreciate y'all rocking with us. We're gonna continue on this road trip back home. We got about an hour.
You making good timing?
Yeah, I am doing good on the timing. So we got about an hour left. So with that being said, it's your girl Brittany
And Dory.
and we are Brittany and Dory. Peace. Stop what you're doing, hit the subscribe button. And if you've been subscribed, then you've been riding with us. Ain't nobody gonna hold you down like I do.
Stay true to you like I do.
Spoil you like I do.
Adore you like I do.
Clean for you like I do.
Cook for you like I do.
Ride it down with you.
Ride it down with you. And that's why I said I do.